In this module, we are going to speak few words about exporting. Now, the way we export our model or a mesh is by going to File and go to Export option. Here, all the format that we are able to export it to. The first contains format for exporting models and the second part is for exporting an animation. Now let's take a look OBJ option. Since the rest of the format have similar settings, let's name it to outfit and press enter or save. And what opens up is the dialog box where we can check or uncheck certain options. So the first option lets us choose exactly which patterns I would like to export. Here I can also open it and all the patterns that I have is here. The second option let me choose if I want the avatar exported along with the outfit or not. So I can either uncheck this or not. And the graphics refer to the textures that we have. So if we have any external pattern or texture or anything like that. Now the next thing is we can export as single object or multiple object. So if I choose multiple objects, then I would get a separate mesh for, let's say, the front pattern, the sleeves and for the dress, so on. And with single object I will get only a mesh. Next we can choose to unweld or weld the points. Now you will notice if I go to multiple objects, then these options are disabled. So it's only enabled for the single objects. If I select the weld option, it means that the end of the patterns will be merged together as one piece. Next we have the thin and thick option. So as we noticed in the previous clip, we are able to apply thickness in Marvelous Designer. So we can either export it as a thin surface or we can export it with that thickness. But as you can see, once I check thickness, I am unable to choose unweld or weld option. So let's keep it thin. The unified UV coordinates means all the part of the garment will be on a single texture. So everything will be the same size, direction and so on. So if you have a pattern or all kind of other texture in MD, you need to have this unchecked so that you will get the correct tiling, or in other words, the textures will stay in the exact position. You put them in MD using the texture move tool and so on. Next we have the scale option. Since we will working on the avatar that was already in MD, everything is by default in millimeter. But if you are importing your own avatar that maybe have a different kind of scale, you need to check here accordingly. Here we also have some additional information that is pretty much self-explanatory. So we can save the texture files in the zip format here. We can also save the metadata. So all the information about the physical property and the sewing information will be in a meta file. Next we can choose diffuse color combined on textures option. So combining the garment texture with the color in one single image, and this is also option for Modo. You can exclude the ambient color from the garment's texture. So as I said, all of the other format have pretty much the same option, and it also varies on what kind of software we will be using after Marvelous Designer. So for instance, exporting this into ZBrush, then it's necessary to check weld here. So this brings up to the end of the module. Now we take a quick look back. We started off with the basics, looking at the interface, how it's divided and what kind of customization we can apply. You got a feel for the software and where content tools can be found by practicing on an already uploaded MD trace. And with that, you created a solid foundation on which you can easily evaluate your knowledge furthermore. Next, we started making our own patterns in the end, generating an outfit for further exporting. You have also learned that MD is not only about creating clothes, which we have shown on the example on the purse. Lastly, we talked about posing, animating, and exporting our models for further use. This brings us to the end of the course. I hope you learned a lot and thank you for taking this course.